anytime in the process, that's our representation that we pay for to give us advice. And sometimes it's called the cost of doing business. I mean, it's just one of those things that the township, there's no right way around that. You can't, I don't say you can send those fees on to someone else to that level. Maybe the engineering fees or any of those people, because we've seen developers have to pay for that. But then there is a price point of someone being able to saying, hey, this is ridiculous. My condition, it could be for something really minor, yet they're posting $4 grand. It could be cost prohibitive to be able to come in here and to apply for something that it just,
I don't think it hurts to look at it again at least and
Yeah.
see
I'm
if
just
we're
looking
in
at it, it's
line.
not necessarily fair to the township residents to pay for the conditional use hearing of one property either.
it's not, but the legal fees, in a way, it is. I mean, it's the residents being defended or advised through the board that they elected to take on the task. I mean, we don't know where else can we actually pass that on. We deal with Mike advising us on many things that we just can't pass that on to. Again, like the cost of doing business. I mean, it's our advisor that we need to have, otherwise we can make a mistake and that's what it costs us.
I'm fine with seeing if we're in line with others in the area, or what we can do better, or if it needs to be spelled out more.
That's a good thing, Lisa. Maybe find out, start to use that quite a bit. You're gonna be quite famous on there. The Secretaries Association email, see what they're charging.
Or if they have an ordinance or something like that that spells it out better than we have now. I'm all for, improving that, making that more user-friendly, but also keeping the cost in line for the township as well. So,
Yeah, if you can.
okay. Anything else? Okay. Anybody have new business? Public participation, Mr. Rhodes?
Yeah, I had two quick things.
Sure.
First of all, Crick Road, which is where Laura Brothers is, it was a hazmat job, and they have a guy comes in and mows that the whole property. Some of us in Modena, but majority of us in East Fallowfield. If you go down there tomorrow, make a point of it. About 1.5 feet, there's weeds all up down the fence over onto the road. All right. Now, I know you just came up there. I just came up there tonight. All right. So there is issues. And that road, that was one of our major roads that we blacktopped probably, 2 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago. And we don't have that much traffic because of the other roads being closed. And also, when you talk about width, that bridge was never state PennDOT approved, that little bridge there, all right? At one time, we had a weight limit of 5 tons. I mean, you can have a car front end over it, and the back end still be on the other side. So the bridge is not that big. But I'm just making, the point is that we have washouts coming down from different properties in Modena property, and actually comes down to East Fallowfield. Because East Fallowfield has a road that we never ordained. The other problem was in reference, we'll say on Goosetown Road. There's a property down there that's Strunk owns. It's for sale. But there's a house down there, and I know the people who used to live there. Strunk rented the property to a tree surgeon guy. And basically, we never taxed them. We probably taxed it, but you never sent them a trash bill. Never. All right? And that there is an abandoned place. Nobody can see it because all the little road that they used to drive down there has grown up. All right? But that's still a residence. All right? And it's something that we're not taxing. You're going after other people, but you're not going after the realtor who owns that property now and is trying to sell it. So I know 2 people live up there. So if you get a chance when you go home during the day, and even if you want to leave the development from the west side, up Goosetown Road, and look down there. There's a little cart road, it's pretty well grown up. But I walk down there, there's a building, full building. Lucky no kids know about it. But there's debris all over, and they were never given a trash bill, even when the people lived there. All right? So that's when we had Phillips. And we used to have Phillips going around, for trash put. That was when it was only $44,000. All right, I forget what it is now, but township was $44,000. So I'm just telling you, and I'd be glad to meet with any of you, ladies and gentlemen, that take you to some of these areas that the zoning officer must have blind. I brought up, and Mr. Lambert was supposed to go out there on 82, about a quarter mile down from the police station on the right-hand side where the Dairy Queen used to be. And there's a truck out there with a lift now. He has a lift out there and a couple of out back where Jim Durborough lived back there, and he complained to me, and I know he complained to the other zoning officer. But I took pictures of there. There's tires. I know Tad got rid of a bunch of tires on that one road where Bevy Burton used to live, all right? And now I went up there and I see big tires, tractor tires. I don't know what that cost the township to get rid of those tires. Can you have a price on that?
Big tires are probably about $10 a tire.
Well, I would like, instead of addressing the tag, and he might get offense, I'll ask Steve and the board to check out what was the cost to get rid of all them tires, all right? And also, why aren't we doing, because tires generate water, cause mosquitoes, all right? And that's in a residential area, all right? One time a black guy in South Coastville had a black shop there, but that was never zoned residential. Zoned commercial right there. That was a house, one time was a carpet place, and the gentleman had the carpet there, but he never had the garage there. Now it's being used there, and you have junk cars in the back. You go on Buck Run Hill, and we're going to address it as historical, because my great-great-grandmother went there, and mostly the slaves and stuff from Ursuline went to that brick building, the schoolhouse. It has junk cars. Right in back of it, we talk about Weaver's mulch being too high. You know, sometimes they go out there and residents complain about Weaver, and then, he does sprinkle it down and knock it down. He does a great job out there. But we have a contractor in this township that has chips and logs stacked way high, and nobody addresses that, all right? And that is agriculture, but actually that farm belonged to the Elvins, all right? And basically a contractor owns there. But you go out there, and even the people complain about it, but we don't do anything. So sometimes, if Buddy Rose comes up to the town, I can see some, and that's another thing I'd like to be addressed. Or some of the video gets on tonight. I would like other townships in the city of Coastville, have cable TV come here and do the whole township, the motion, the residents. We don't select taking pictures. You follow me? I would rather see a cable TV. We discussed that one time too. Cable TV coming here, and some townships have it. You know, that way, the public, whatever the board's motion was, it's documented. Other residents can see it on their TV. They don't have to come here. All right. So thank you. But I would be glad to take any of you around the township. I know Tag would be glad to too. But there's areas up on Goosetown Road that the inlets, and I think one was painted, the other one's covered with stone. So there's a lot of inlets that need to be opened when we have big storms like we had the other night, you know, because of the heat, you get a heavy downpour. The inlet's got to be cleaned. Thank you.
Can I make a point? Lisa, our trash billing is external. Can you inquire on them how they go about all the addresses that they bill? Because we don't handle that internally anymore. Would you just, they must be use some kind of guidance with the addresses, so everyone should be getting billed properly that live in Southfield. So just ask them.
Does it go by property?
Well, that's what we need to find out.
We have the external billing for trash.
Yeah, we use Muted billing.
Yeah.
We entered in all of those addresses.
We did.
We
Okay,
did.
so there is a good chance we missed addresses then.
Well, what was it, I guess what was it based off of?
I have no idea.
Because that was done years ago.
Yeah, so there could be an error, like Betty's pointed out. All right. And then the other, as far as the cameras, I mean, that's, Dennis is here with his own private camera. We've had former supervisor, his son in here with a camera, a former supervisor came in with his camera. I mean, there's no policy on cameras. I mean, that's not the township's camera, that's his own.
No,
camera.
I'm saying that, but I mean, sometimes it's select camera. Cable TV is not select, all right? They video the whole meeting. Basically, the supervisor, and if somebody gets up to the mic, if they work, be able, people usually at City Hall and all the big, like West Goshen and these other townships over in the eastern, which he was bringing up, which is a lot different from East Fallowfield and here. But they actually have cable TV, people come in and videos their meetings, and the residents get to know what's going on. Yes, you have residents that are concerned to come here,
Right.
but a lot more residents can't get out, and it's dark, and they don't come in the wintertime, they don't come out. But they have a right to know what's going on in the meeting, because anything they're gonna find out come budget time, oh, there's more taxes, all right? And of course, that's the only thing I would like. I'd like to see our meeting opened up for the public to know what's going on. I know we don't do newsletters anymore.
I did have, we can ask I asked Comcast.
Yeah, I know,
my
but
first
we used to
year.
do them twice a year, and I know they cost money. But at the same time, the community paper does a great job. I read that more than I do anything else, because that tells you what's going on in different townships and stuff. So,
We can ask Comcast to come in here again to do that, and, you know, with private cameras, I mean, the only thing I will say with private cameras, I mean, it's your own private stuff, so if it's in here, I've seen a camera in here at like 5:30, I mean, the meeting's not even scheduled yet, so it is your own personal property to be responsible for with camera, but we can look into, possibly Comcast coming in here, and they offered us some free stuff the last time they were here, I mean, that could work.
well, it's not part of the township's responsibility to take cameras and put them in.
Well, it would
township.
Comcast, that's his own, I mean, Dennis's camera is his own camera, I mean, he started, I mean, others have done.
Yeah, I realize that.
Yeah, but I mean, if the township had their own camera from Comcast, yeah, that would be our camera, our responsibility, and yeah, we could do something from the township level, this is Dennis's planning commission
And
slash
the only other
our resident.
thing I would like to say, Mr. Chairman, is that if any of us are chairman of any board, if we have a conflict of interest, we should not be voting on anything. That's for the board of supervisors, zoning officers, zoning board, historical commission, or the planning commission. So I just say, if anything comes up that Buddy Rose is involved with a company and is bidding on something on the historical, I should sustain from that. And that's what I would hope any other board member would do. Thank you.
Mrs. Scott?
Yes, thank you. 1A, the scanning of, and document retention. Again, I would think that the Pennsylvania Association of Township Secretaries group would know that. That would be a source. And as one of the board did mention, utilize the Secretaries Association. Secondly, the billing of the trash. Okay, that was the data retention and the scanning, to check and see what longtime secretaries have done. Some of them have been secretary 10, 20 years. So you just give them a call and ask them, and they can also reference the quote law or the rule, etc. And as far as filming of the township, that's the freedom of speech, freedom of film. Anybody can come in here with a camera or tape recorder or whatever.
That's right.
And so be it. I don't feel that it's much ado about nothing. Just be on your best behavior, and then you don't have to worry about it. Yes, and regarding full disclosure, yeah, I would like to see at the beginning of everything, conditional use hearing, every type of meeting, etc., that be in the rules as well, that any official who is going to vote or propose a matter, they have to disclose if they are involved in any way, any conflict of interest. They should, at the beginning of the meeting, state it. And why? I remember Deborah Rush stating that John Good was her personal lawyer. There was something going on in the township at that time. She was planning commission chair.
Okay.
So, yeah, for instance, one thing that troubles me and always has is Dennis O'Neill. He works for McCombie. McCombie has started, he is more or less the entire, I'm going to say Coastal Area School District, all the municipalities that feed into that. He's the man. He's the collector of the funds, he's the only one doing it. So I have great concern that Dennis O'Neill, who was our planning commission,
No, zoning.
no, he was planning commission chair, or on the planning commission as well. Then he got transferred to the zoning hearing board. So, I have a problem with that. And as far as knowing what, properties are on the trash bills list, I would request that the township request from the county tax assessment bureau, where every property you can go over and, we used to get a copy, a list of every property in this township, and it would stay on there vacant, V for vacant, you know, if it's just land, or R if there's a residence. So there's a freebie, call them, have them send you a copy. I forget what the title is, I have many of them in my, since 2000. I think that ended sometime when they built the new tax assessment, that whole bunch of things changed. And therefore we don't get that documentation, but call them up and request it. We pay county taxes, that should be a freebie. They should send us a list, and then that list could be sent to whoever's our billing agency for the trash. Okay,
That's a
thank
good
you.
idea, Lisa, maybe see about the county, if anything, we could just look at the total number of properties versus the total number with,
We have a list for you guys.
We have that list.
maybe just ask, call our billing and say, how many properties do you have, and they say, whatever, you know, a certain amount, and we can say on our list, we have a certain amount, we have an error. You know, there's people not being billed, or potentially maybe we have more than being billed than we should. But the county list can, whatever our total number is, can quickly tell us if we have an error, you know, versus going through every property. If there is differences in the total amounts, then we have a problem we need to get through. Maybe we can stick that on Union Hill.
They won't do that.
All right.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.